Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hey, everybody. We should be live. Welcome back to the stream, everybody. So today, we have got an interesting little stream. Courtesy of Pixar, the Pixar eAmp. Last Saturday, I want to say. We finally got this shit put together. And we're going to go through it. Because, man, there's a lot. There's a lot to go through. And I think that realistically, we should be able to get through it today. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be able to get through it. But I think there's going to be some games in here that are going to be contentious opinions. I have a feeling that it's going to be a spicy list, right? I have a feeling.
And his name is John C.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome out, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? Good? It's like Gray Saturday or whatever. I've also got... Didn't have time to set them up, but I've got these that I'll eventually put up. Somewhere. I don't know where. But I'll put them up. 'Tis the season, right? Oh, you can kind of see them. You can kind of see them in the reflection of the thing. So, all right. Oh, thank you. Today, the energy drink is sponsored by Dragon Ball Z with Power Boost. And I think it's the first one of these kind of energy drinks that haven't tasted like absolute dog shit. So, yummy. All right. Let's get to it. So, perfect. We've got a lot. Right, there's a good bit of them. There's a good bit of them, but the majority of them are here. We all went through it yesterday. We saw all of it. I wasn't able to upload it, so this is just a single-use tier list. But it still gets the point across. I also wasn't able to remove any of the ones I added, so I had to create a dupe section for this one that I fucked up on. So just don't pay attention to this section. Actually, oh, no, not the worst thing. All right, so I'll turn this down a little bit so I can think. I guess we start off with Tori Bash. We're just gonna go right down the list. This should be relatively in order from beginning of stream all the way to now. Should be relatively in order. There's going to be a little bit at the end that's a lot of, like, grabs that we did, but this should be pretty close to in order. Tori Bash. I mean, let me explain, too. We've got the S through D, then trash. These games are, like, irredeemable garbage. So if it's here and this is your favorite game or you like the game that's in the trash section, you can take offense to that. I'm giving permission for you to take offense to my opinion, because this section is utter garbage. This is the worst you could ever play. This is people say some video games are a waste of time. They live here, right? This is where the garbage lives. I don't even know if Roblox would make it in this tier, right? This is the absolute, because Roblox, at least, we'll get to that when we get to Roblox, but this is the absolute bottom of the barrel. On the flip side, I have to choose one game from the entire list. This will be at the end. I have to choose one game that is the best. And my ranking is not just going to be based on how good the game was or how good the game is, like in a general sense, but it's also going to be weighed on how it impacted the channel and how good of a stream, how good of stream content it made. So if it's a really shit game, but it made great content and it was really fun to do on stream, it'll rank higher than something that was mediocre across the board. That's the idea. We'll see how it turns out. So with Tory Bash, I don't know. I'm on the fence with Tory Bash. I like Tory Bash a lot, right? The content, non-existent. We got one clip, and it was a sound alert. So, like, or two, and I think they were both sound alerts. I don't know. I think we need to start one off as the baseline, right? The middle of the road. This is the and then we compare from there. Now, this is interesting because it has been like 3 years since I played the majority of these games. And I remember very, very, very specific things about every single one of them. Mainly because we saw them in a clip montage yesterday, but also other things that happened throughout the course of me playing the game on stream that didn't make it to the clip montages. And that being said, Final Fantasy X is a phenomenal game. It is one of the best Final Fantasies ever created. One of the best JRPGs ever created. One of the most, I shouldn't say best, one of the most impactful JRPGs ever created. But where does it go? It's definitely above Tory Bash, but do I put it, I think, and this is all subject to change later if we don't think that there's any if we think that things need to be shifted. I think comfortably this sits in the S tier, like objectively, right? The game is just objectively good. That being said, this is, I think, where the controversy starts. I just gotta say it. I just have to say it. Starbound as a concept is really, really, really fucking good, right? Starbound as an idea, Terraria in space, mind-blowing. In execution, way too bogged down with its own bullshit. The mod scene makes it even more bogged down in its own bullshit. And the clips were just kind of okay. Right? Like, it didn't make the best content. And we didn't even really get that far in the game. I've gotten further in the game in times, beyond that. We did play, I don't know if anyone remembers this, we played a multiplayer server of Starbound as well, which really didn't add to anything for it. So I think I'm comfortable with D. Now, Terraria, weirdly enough, go to a C. I don't think that Terraria makes for a good stream game anymore. I think that 5 years ago, yeah, Terraria is a good video making game, stream game, good game, just a good, decent game. And I think that if it was 5 years ago, we're talking B, maybe A. But right now, it's not at the same caliber as some of the other games on here that are in a similar genre. It's just not. Also, another controversial opinion. I'm putting Destroy All Humans, the remake, in D tier. I love Destroy All Humans. I love it. I realize it's an okay game for when it came out, but now it really doesn't hold up. Like, the game itself is still fun, but nobody is playing it outside of people that have already played the game. And I feel like if you're just making a remake for people that have already played the game and nobody else, then, like, it's just kind of a waste of time. It didn't really add anything. It was okay. Plus, the remake was trash. Right. And this is for the remake specifically. So, I don't think I would put it into the actual trash category. Right? Because, again, this is... like, Roblox, I'm putting in D. Right? Like, trash is for shit worse than Roblox. Like, this is the fucking bottom of the Sarlacc pit right here. This is the worst you could be. This is the absolute dumpster. That being said, Final Fantasy Realm Reborn, no comment. I'm fucking with you. I'm kidding. Final Fantasy 14 is interesting for me. Because Final Fantasy 14 is one of my favorite Final Fantasy games of all time. And it's objectively now a very, very, very good game. That being said, it has also produced a lot of really good content. But that content is exclusively around the Hildebrand questline. That any other Final Fantasy 14 stream I do, nobody knows what the fuck's going on, right? Hildebrand is the only part that people can connect with. So this is why I don't know if I can put it at S. I don't know if I can. As much as I love Final Fantasy 14, in my heart of hearts, I don't think I could put it at S. I don't think I could, because it's so one note, you know? Oh, I shouldn't say that. Hildebrand and Fall Guys. Now we got a completely different scale to work with. A tier. It hurts. It hurts on the inside, but A tier. Yeah, what do I do? Castlevania Z, not much to say with this. Really, really good content, but I think it was because I played it with other people. Like, playing a game like this, you need to play it with other people, or it's just not. You're just going to be bored out of your mind. So, I mean, it goes with Tory Bash for me. You know, B tier. Old school RuneScape. This is an easy S for me. And let me tell you why. Old school RuneScape not only made a great other game when we had those, but it also had multiple things that we could stream on its own, like as its own game. We had imp hunting, we had Slayer, we had questing. There's so much shit that brought in... It fuels the sound alerts? Old school RuneScape? Maybe. But it really has its own leg to stand on. And that's kind of the difference between it and Final Fantasy 14.
Hey, Prose, I want to put a song on.
Ooh. Oh, because of the Windows 10 noise. That too! It has a overlasting effect. I haven't played RuneScape on stream in like a month and a half, and you guys are still scamming me all the time. Name an artist? King Mist. All right. I'll just that'll play after this song. Terra. Terra, again, it's going in 6. I think we have maybe one clip from Terra, and Terra was just a bad game anyway. It's closed down now, so if you wanted to go back and review, you can. I'll up it a little bit. It's got a like kind of jazzy 70s vibe. I love this song. This might be the best song. The mix of the, like, gnarliest, like, 70s, 80s prog rock guitar solo in the back with the backup singers just going detachable penis with this monologue from, like, fucking David Spade or whoever the fuck this is. It's such a good blend. It might be the best song that we've seen. It very well might be. Like it belongs in a Mike Myers film? Yeah, it sounds like it's from like Wayne's World. And as soon as it came, it went again. As soon as it entered our lives, it left. Anyway, Rift. D tier. Rift is a fucking joke of a MMO, and man, it has only gotten worse since then. I actually recently went back to it like a month ago before I started doing my EverQuest 2 adventures, because I've never played EverQuest 2. I've only ever played the first one. Man. Rift sucks. It sucks so hard. It's not trash, but goddamn does it suck. There's nothing to do in the game. Even at like max level, there's nobody fucking there. So like, what are we doing? So yeah, it sits comfortably in the D tier. It's bordering trash, but it's not unplayable, right? ESO Collector's Edition is $20. I think the game's free. Daggerfall. B. I had a great time with it. The game itself, wank. The first time we played it, hated the game because it was it wasn't the Unity release. After playing the Unity release, it was okay. It was pretty good, and we got a lot of people from it that stuck around. So, no, gotta pay. I don't know. I bought ESO when it came out, and then I've just been sitting on it this whole time. So, I don't know. Juice Galaxy is A tier, or formerly known as Juice World. This game is phenomenal. The reason it's not in S tier is because it was so short. It is so short. Like unbelievably short. It's only like maybe an hour long, and we got almost, if not everything. So I don't know. It was it was an amazing experience. I'd never go back, right? Unless there was like a Juice Galaxy 2. But I don't know. I couldn't go back. I don't need to talk about this. I've talked about this at nauseum at this point, and I'll talk about it at nauseum in the future. But RuneScape retail D tier. Again, bordering on trash. The amount of disrespect that Jagex has for the game, as well as the just fucking state of affairs that they're in right now is laughable. I mean, it is laughable. There are MMOs out there that are shut down that have a better process of putting shit together and like scraping up the pieces than I mean, there's multi-million-dollar assignments put into RuneScape and all of them fail. I mean, most recently they tried to implement a battle pass. It's a fucking joke, but The only reason it's not in trash, and this is the abbreviated version of all my rants. The only reason it's not in trash is because it is the cash cow for Jagex. If we did not have RuneScape 3, we would not have Old School RuneScape because Old School RuneScape does not make them money. So, RuneScape 3 is the Final Fantasy 7 of MMOs. I'm saying it now. I don't like Final Fantasy 7, but yes, Brian?
The Juice's best game. You cannot deny the juice. The juice will come for you while you sleep. It will infiltrate your nostrils and refuse to turn into vapor. You will have the joy key.
Thank you, Brian. RuneScape 3 is the Final Fantasy 7 of MMOs. I don't like Final Fantasy 7. I hate it to some degree, but I realize how important it is. And I appreciate it for that, because without it, we would have no other Final Fantasies beyond it. Just like we would not have Old School RuneScape if we did not have RuneScape 3. Let me get this out. Let me just whip this out. All right. Stardew Valley. A tier. I mean, great video just came out of it. Every time I play it, it's fun. But man, it's got limited shelf life for me. I could not play like multiple years in the game on stream. I just couldn't. I can barely do that off stream with Stardew Valley. I love Stardew Valley. I love the aesthetic. I love the people in it. I love the people that make it. But fuck me. I get bored of it really fast. So, mainly because fishing is my favorite thing to do in that, and the fishing has not a whole lot of longevity. Fall Guys. The game itself, passable, right? It's fun. It's fun, especially when you get a win. It's fun. The sheer amount of content that has been pumped out of this game for this channel alone, it's got to be like 10% of the clips throughout the clip montage. It's a lot. It's a lot. Man, it's a lot. We'll just put it here. That's a lot higher than I thought it would be. That's a lot higher. I thought I would be putting it in D when I first added it to the list, but goddamn, that is so much higher. And I'm not going to elaborate further. That's where that goes. I hate it. I'm moving on. This is League of Angels 3. We played this for 3 hours or so, and then I played it for the remainder of the 7 hours off stream. It's legendary. It is legendary. It is. It's very good for content. That being said, as soon as I shut the stream off and did the rest of the 7 hours, it might have been the most boring game I've ever played in my entire life. This is the game that has this game front-loaded so hard. So hard. Like, unbelievably hard front-loaded. But the content that we got out of it was fucking hilarious. So, and this feels bad for everything under it, but it's going in B tier. Because it's really, really about the impact that it left on. I mean, I can still remember front to back, and this isn't very common for me. I can remember front to back that entire stream. About 80% of it. Every other stream, I've got maybe 10%, right? I black out. I'm not going to remember this stream. I'm going to remember that part that I just said and this part now. That's all I'm going to remember. And man, I don't know how, but I remember so much of this stream. It left an impression, so it gets a B. It gets a B. Now, Roblox is D, but I wanted to split out the OG Roblox good game. And that's Natural Disaster Survival. Natural Disaster Survival, we played every single time we got into Roblox for the first 8 streams of Roblox for like an hour of the stream until people were like, hey, can you please play something else? They said it a lot more violently than that. But, my God, this was a fucking goated minigame. And I hate to do this, but that shit's going in S tier. It's so fucking good. I would literally, and I think we did this. I'm pretty sure Eagle and I played this off stream a couple times during that period too. That's how fucking fun it is. It's so good. Now, I don't know how it's changed since then, but how much do you change, you know? It's so good. And it deserves the S spot. It deserves it. Bait and Kaidos. I personally love Bait and Kaidos. It's one of my it's in my top 5 JRPGs of all time. But where does it land on this list? I think A tier. Because we played this game twice on stream. I'm going to play it again and actually beat it on stream during the Final Fantasy list. Because this game is so fucking good. I'm probably going to play the remake, though. Because playing it emulated has been a fucking nightmare. That's why we had to stop both times. We would have beaten it both times if it wouldn't have fucking fallen apart with the emulator. What do you do? Moving on. Wizard 101, easy C tier. Easy C tier. Yeah, emulators love to break, especially Dolphin emulator. That emulator's kind of garbage, but it's the best GameCube emulator out there. Actually, both of these can go in the C tier. C tier is where I'm kind of just meh, right? This is mid. Everything here, once it gets into D, that's when it's starting to disappoint me. D for disappointment. B, A, and S, I kind of got to work through that. But C is utter disappointment. And I think, honestly, DC Universe Online can go there, too. I love DC. I'm a huge DC fan. Like, I'm a crazy DC fan. But, man, it's so fucking boring. It's so boring. You get the first little bit in the beginning when you're fighting Brainiac. And then you get spit out into the world. And then you've got some, like, bullshit storyline against, like, I don't even remember who. It was in, like, a Chinese theater. Like, that's, I don't know. It's like, what are we doing? Show me some cool shit. Now, talking about cool shit, we got Shrine. Shrine was the first game that we played on stream that was good front-to-back indie game. Great game. Phenomenal game. That was actually a game. You could beat it, front to back. There was, Juice Galaxy. I guess that was really the only other indie game. Oh, Castle Miner Z, Tori Bash. But those were, like, just okay games, right? Shrine was the first one that had a genuine story that I connected with and I felt on a personal level. Shrine 2? Fucking awful. But Shrine 1 was a phenomenal experience, and I would love to play it again. I just wish the second and third game weren't fucking ass. The fuck you doing with Terraria and C? You're gonna have to see the VOD, man. It's just meh. It's meh. Again, maybe 6 years ago, I would have put it higher. But now, no. Divinity Original Sin 2. So we haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 on stream. I don't know if I ever will. I probably won't. I might play one of the first two on stream, but I don't know if I'll ever play Baldur's Gate 3 on stream. The reason I won't play Baldur's Gate 3 on stream is because that is a game that I want to keep exclusively out of that realm, That being said, Divinity Original Sin 2, upon going back and looking at it and playing at it, is very, 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 very similar in its gameplay. That being said, how do I think it stacked up with everything on this list, everything that's to come on this list, as well as just as a game in general? As a game, it's never kept my interest past the first act. Ever. I lose interest in the game after the first act. I don't know why. I just do. And that seems to be a common issue with Larian games. I have all Divinity Original Sin 1, Divine Divinity. I don't know if they did that game, but it's still in the same universe. Divinity Original Sin 2, Baldur's Gate 3. As soon as the first act is over, I'm peace out. I'm gone. I don't know why. It's just something. It might be something with Larian storytelling. It might be something with Larian game design. But as soon as the first act is over, I'm done. I'm gone. I don't know why. So, I'm going to have to put Divinity Original Sin 2 at C. It's got some good bits with like some of the game jank from our clips, but it's just, I think that people have such a high, like the people that like Divinity Original Sin 2 and Baldur's Gate 3 really like those games. They really like them. And if you're just kind of mid on them, you have to hate them. I don't know. They're good games, but I don't know. Not for me, I guess. I'll play Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 till the fucking cows come home. But I think it's just something with Larian games. Because I'll play other games that are like those games all the way through just fine. I played Solasta all the way through. Spellbreak 3 isn't really the same thing. Or Spellforce 3. Spellforce 3 isn't really the same thing, but kind of in the same vein. I played that all the way through. I don't know, man. It's just something with Larian games. I just don't. It doesn't vibe well with me. At least after Act 1. Act 1, though, I played on Baldur's Gate 3 and Divinity Original Sin 2 maybe 10 times a piece. So, I don't know. Not for Baldur's Gate 3, actually. I've probably only done that twice. Maybe 3 times? I don't know. Regardless, they're good games. They're great games, even. It's just not for me. Especially speaking of a game that is great, but not for me, Realm of the Mad God. This is the roguelike MMO where you go out into the world, you try and gain level, items, and then if you die, you start back, but you get like bonuses and it becomes easier and easier and easier. Traditional roguelike. Not for me. C. Yeah, I'm miffed by it. It's great for some people, not for me. That being said, would I go back to it? I still haven't done my 10 hours with it. I've done maybe about 6 hours. I just got bored. So, or I wasn't able to connect to it. I wasn't able to latch on. So, I still got to do my 3 hours. I might do another stream of it or down the road somewhere, but not for a while. Pokemon Dark Rising. This is where Miss Weathersby came from. This is where I think this is my first Nuzlocke on the channel, I believe. And it was good. It's a great ROM hack. It's not the best, but it's good. It's challenging as shit, but it's really, really good. It's got to go in B though. It doesn't. The longevity of the stream, it just doesn't hold up. Speaking of longevity, I mean, is it even a question, right? If there was a level above S based on stream longevity and content alone, Phasmo would be there. Phenomenal game to stream. Phenomenal game to play. Somehow keeps being a fun game every update. There was a period where the game got really, really not scary at all. But they've really amped that up and made it something that can genuinely be scary again. So many consistent memes came from it. There's just so much that came out of this game. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. I've at this point given up on World of Warcraft retail. It's looking to be better with the new expansions, right? But man, it's just so in the shitter right now that it can't be anywhere else but trash. It can't, and it's I have to put it with Infestation, the new Z. I don't fucking remember this game at all. I just remember the shotgun blast of the zombie that shot up into the sky. That's all I remember. Maybe it will get better since Microsoft was allowed to buy Blizzard. Maybe. I mean, they bought Bethesda and then they came out with Starfield, and that's hit or miss. So, is that the game where you all had green hair? I played this one solo, so I don't think so. Both of these games, this game is pretty unplayable garbage, and so is this game. Honestly, they're both unplayable garbage right now. The only thing that's fun for World of Warcraft right now is playing as a mage, and that's even questionable just because the beginning is so fucking horrible. Like, your new player experience is so fucking trash. They're implementing a solo queue though for dungeons where you have like AI teammates like Final Fantasy 14 has, and man, it could get good because then you can do all your leveling with AI teammates and then go into like modern content with real people. So then you're not just left to fucking rot for the first 60 levels. Well, you forget that they also own Mojang. Yeah, that's been going well for them too. That's been in the shit recently as well. Darkstone, solid game. A really fun game. A real fun Diablo clone. Miranek and Len, they crushed it. And man, Miranek and Night Set of Tits. What can I say? Human Fall Flat, A tier. I don't want to be too hasty on that. I don't know. What do we think? Because I'm thinking A tier immediately, but it kind of lost its fun, right? Human Fall Flat was great for the first like 2 hours. And then we tried actually playing the game, and it lost its charm, I think. The same as a recent game that we played, a certain ass-related game that we played recently, where the first 2 hours were fun, and the gimmick, we got the gimmick, and it was fun to have the gimmick, but then it got old really quick, and it just didn't last. I gotta say B. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking here, but no, it's got to be B. It had so many good clips, but it's just after the first 2 hours, we fucking lost it. Sims 4, S tier. Kind of ruined it with the big house update when I tried to get everyone into the same house. I have a plan. If Human Fall Flat had random generation, maybe it would be better, potentially, or community maps. Community workshop maps. I think it might have something like that, but it's not super well integrated. The Sims 4, again, great. The reason we stopped it was not any fault of the game. It was my fault exclusively. Because I tried to move everyone into one big house. What I would do again, if I were to do another Sims 4 stream, right? If I were to do one, say, within the next, I don't know, like month and a half, you know? If I were to do that, I would definitely do it as a neighborhood. And I would be checking in on the various houses and trying to manage all the houses kind of simultaneously. Instead of throwing everybody into the same house. Because that just kind of led to a giant empty house. with nobody really interacting ever. And it would be more of like a soap opera than a Big Brother situation where everyone's all in the same house. It would be more us seeing what the blanks are doing and seeing what the hoo-has are doing, you know? Speaking of hoo-has, no. Speaking of dildos, who's your daddy? B tier. We had a good stream with it. A great first stream with it. But anything after that did not land nearly as well. The first stream was great. There was a lot of memes. This comes down to gimmick again. All these indie games that really popped off that had a gimmick, the gimmick does not last at all. Again, it's a great gimmick, but man, it does not last. Vindictus, mid. I really have no super high opinions. It's just kind of mid. It had nice titties, and a fucked up Doomfist, but that was about it. Zelda Randomized, A tier. Zelda Randomized was the first big edit I did. No, that was Dark Rising. But regardless, Zelda had a lot of it was a very lightning in a bottle situation. I don't think I could have the same amount of bizarre success with any of the other randomized Zelda games. If I was to do Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, it'd be interesting, right? A randomized run is always interesting, but I don't think it would have the same comedic timing. I forget, didn't you do a Wind Waker one? I attempted to for one stream, and then it crashed, so I didn't even add it to this list. Because, man, that was rough. But one that I did add to this list was Dungeons & Dragons Online, which, again, in my top 5 MMOs of all time, yes, it is. It's 4 or 5. As a stream game, so that would put it at S, but as a stream game, it was all right. I think I did this with Eagle, if I remember right. I don't remember. I think Eagle and I played it at the same time. I'm not sure. Dungeons & Dragons Online. I'm pretty sure. We did? Okay. It goes in B2. Weren't you a paladin type in that? Yeah, I was a paladin necromancer build. It's weird because I talk about Baldur's Gate 3, and it's a great Dungeons and Dragons game, but Dungeons and Dragons Online is so much. I don't know if it was on stream, but we played it. Oh, we might have played as separate characters. Dungeons and Dragons Online is the best Dungeons and Dragons game. If you want to play Dungeons and Dragons, if you want to play a fantasy game that is also in the Dungeons and Dragons universe, Baldur's Gate 3 is fine, right? It's a great game. Dungeons and Dragons Online is the best Dungeons and Dragons game. It's the closest you're going to get to simulating the tabletop game in a video game format. It's phenomenal. But as a stream game, it's all right. It's all right. I love it. I love this next game so much. I love it so much, but goddamn is it fucking bad. 303 great games. It's so fucking bad. I couldn't even find this is 303 kid-approved exercises and active games. Don't know what this is, but this is what we're using for it. And my God, is it so fucking bad. It was so bad. We couldn't even get through, I think an hour and a half of it. It was a short stream. Let's see. Thief? This one's going to go in... If I put it in S, I feel like I have to... S for spin? That's fair. I feel like if I put it in S, I have to justify it. If I put it in A, I don't. Because Thief was the first RPG I played on the channel that I felt like a genuine connection with. That we played front to back because it was a pacifist run. There was a challenge. It kind of started that mentality of, people are genuinely interested when you do challenge runs. Nobody wants to see you play Thief on a normal setting ever. Nobody wants to see that because they're not there for your commentary. They're there to see you do something unique. And this was the first time that that kind of clicked for me. That being said, my God, the game's just fucking great altogether. It's got some bugs, right? It's got some issues, but it's a great game. It's a great game. Neverhood, S tier. S tier. It was a birthday stream. I fucking love this game. Everyone else seemed to love it too. It gave us the fucking best song in the world. A couple great songs from the soundtrack. And yeah, I mean, the Neverhood is just fucking goated. I wonder. Not that one. Do we have maybe a soundtrack? Maybe? No? Okay. I wanted the do 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 do. That song. But doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Oh well. Yeah, S tier. Easy S tier. Kingdom Come Deliverance. This is another game that falls in that Larian pit for me, where I played the shit out of the first act and a half, but after that it gets so repetitive. Maybe I just don't like. No, I was gonna say maybe I just don't like open world games, but that's not true. Also, Baldur's Gate 3 isn't really open world. I guess it kind of is, but not really. Ah, that's true. All right, it's been added. It's been added. But yeah, this goes in C. It's fine. I love the concept of the game, and I've played it a lot, but it's just okay. Rocky Mountain Trophy Hunter is interesting because we didn't really play much of it, right? Because the game was really difficult to play, but goddamn did it have some really funny moments. Had so many good funny moments. It's got to go in B, I think. It was really fucking funny. It was really, really, really fucking funny, but goddamn, was it a pain in the ass to control. Super Mario Brothers. We played for 15 minutes while I was testing out a 3D remaker engine. And honestly, I don't really like the first Super Mario Brothers all that much. So D, I guess. Kind of ass. On the flip side, Borderlands 1. A revolutionary game. And honestly, one that was fucking great on stream. We killed it. The whole fucking process was goated. I mean, the game itself was good. We were doing great in the game. It was a fun experience all the whole fucking time. Same with Phantasmagoria, actually. Phantasmagoria is, I think, the first full motion video game I played on stream. And it kind of opened Pandora's box a little bit. But it was really fucking good. It was a really fucking good game. Oh, God, this is going to hurt. Oh, my God, this is going to hurt so much. This is like putting down a dog. This is... I don't feel good about that, right? But I need to face facts. The first streams we did were really good. But the past 2 times I've tried to stream this game has been an utter disaster. This last one led to a very nice experience. But man, it ain't coming back. The dev hasn't made an update in like half a year. It really feels like I'm saying goodbye, right? Like I'm putting something down. Taking out back behind the barn and just putting her down. Because it's not even the fact that nobody's playing the game. It's the fact that the game itself it's good, right? The game's good, but there's so much better out there. And it's not the best rendition of what it's trying to emulate either. So it's sad. It's sad. Let's move on from it. Medieval Dynasty, C. More to come on this, but C for now. Ultima Online, C again. I don't really care. I mean, it had some funny moments, and it's like a decent game, but like, oh, fuck. Speaking of which, hold on. I forgot about this game. We'll get to that one in a little while. Now, I know where that one's going, but, yeah, I don't know. I don't have any real thoughts on Ultima Online. It could be D. It's a low C, a very low C. The Darkest Fairy. Did we ever beat the Darkest Fairy? No, the emulator broke. Right. B tier. Great game. I like it a lot, but it's more of a nostalgia hit for me than anything else. I just remember that game where, oh my god, Remnant 2. Just keep sending them to me. If you remember games, just keep sending them to me and I'll add them to the list. Conqueror's Blade, C. I played the remaining hours of that I needed, and god, it just was so fucking mid. Caves of Quoud, A tier. The amount of content that we got out of a game that looks like a fucking spreadsheet, great. And I've been thinking about going back to it again soon, because, goddamn. It's good. Playing as a water baron, and having the unlimited mushrooms and selling that shit and then fucking dying was tragic, but hey, we had it. A slime baron. That's what we were. Sea of Thieves, again, that's the game for this Tuesday. So anybody that has Sea of Thieves, re-download the game. I know Mirrodek picked it up. I think our Eagle definitely has it. I don't know if anyone else has it, but I guess we need a fourth. Well, we don't need a fourth, but it could just be the three of us. Sea of Thieves, A tier? A tier. I feel comfortable in A tier. I was going to do B tier, but goddamn, the clips from Sea of Thieves, some of the best clips from the early era, I think. It's just unfortunate the game was fucking broken. Bravely Default 2. God, Bravely Default 2 is good. But we never beat it. The problem with Bravely Default 2, and the problem with Bravely Default 1 and Second Story, or Second Light, Second Song, Second Reprisal, whatever it was, the middle of those games is so fucking boring. There's nothing going on. The beginning and end, great. The middle is a lot of like grinding out classes, and I think that has to do with just having a job system in general, because you have so many jobs and you want to like micromanage them and like push them together and like see what different combos you can make. So the middle of the game just ends up being the longest. But man, it had a lot of good clips. I have not Lone Wanderer, so I will do that now. I don't know, B tier, I think. I think B tier is nice, because C tier would feel a little harsh. And A tier, I don't think it quite reaches A tier. I mean, the flush is funny, And there's a lot of really funny bits from Bravely Default 2, but I don't know if it reaches there. Gothic 3 made a good video, but it's C tier. It's not a great game. Oh, this one is tough. This one is tough. Cursed Food. Cursed Food, a name that should strike fear in the hearts of mortals across the multiverse. I could say D, or I could say S, right? Because there was so much room for, like, there was so much potential. I think I definitely have to explain myself more if I put it in S than I did for D. But, man, it was really fucking fun when we played it. Would I play it in my off time? Hell no. Would I don't know, play it again? Probably not. But the time we had with it was so fucking funny. Hey, was so fucking funny. I think we'll put it at B because it gave us a lot, but man, I don't think I could ever go back to it. All right, let's just get this out of the way. Super Seducer 1, S tier. Super Seducer 2, S tier. Super Seducer 3, C tier. Take a second to let that sink in, right? And realize that I'm right. Take a second, realize that I'm right. Talk it out. You know, work through it. You just gotta work it out. Yeah, 3 didn't have as much comedy. The problem with 3 is that the first game, it was trying to be pretty serious. It was trying to be an actual, like, dating relationship or dating advice game with a little bit of humor here and there. The second game knew what it had, but still focused on the dating aspect of it, right? The third game, they ran out of ideas. Like, there wasn't a whole lot that they could do dating-wise. And they knew that the first 2 games sold on how funny they were. So they tried really, really hard to be funny in the third game. So all the funny bits are just not, they just don't land. And a lot of the middle part of the game takes part with, like, the same people. So it just isn't, it isn't what I don't know. If they made a Super Seducer 4, I'd have to be persuaded to play it, I think. Because at this point, I think it's run its course. And it would just tarnish the memory even more. PlanetSide 2, C tier. It's a fun game, but it gets boring really fast. Unless you play like 15 hours a day, it's not good. Cyber Driver. Trash. It is so fucking bad. It gave us like, it was on a night where we were just playing new releases, and it gave us maybe like 5 minutes of entertainment. It made it into a clip montage somehow. I don't know how, but it did. Speaking of a game that we played for very little time, Morrowind. We played for 2 hours, maybe, because I was testing out a microphone. And that's all that I've ever played of Morrowind. That was the first time I ever played it. That's all I've ever played. So it's got to go in C tier. I would hate to put it up in this realm, right? These games, it would be doing these games a disservice if I put it up in B. Like Daggerfall, Darkstone, Castle Miner Z. It just wouldn't make sense. We also got the "Who shit my pants" quote. That's true. That is true. Oblivion. That I'm okay with putting in B tier. It's a genuinely good game, and I think it's the best of the 3 like modern Elder Scrolls games. I think Daggerfall's still a little bit better. It's something that plays more to my playstyle, but I can play Oblivion longer. You're doing it a disservice putting it anywhere after only 2 hours. That we don't worry about. It doesn't matter how long I've played the game, right? Because if I'm doing it based on how much I played of the game, not how good everyone perceives the game or how good the game actually is. I'm doing it based on how I perceive the game and how I experienced it. Like, for instance, Skyrim is going in D tier. It's a broken mess, and it's a fucking disaster, and it's really not fun. But I think all three of these deserve where they are. For sure. And without a doubt. Skyrim's borderline unplayed. Who's played vanilla Skyrim within the past, 2 years? Without any, challenge or mods of any kind? Nobody I know of. In the past 5 years? Since it came out? Madden 20... Bro, Madden 21. This was another lightning in a bottle situation. Madden 21, I did not... I had as a throwaway game because I didn't know what to play one day. And man... It ended up being maybe one of the best... transitional games while I was working on, getting better at being on face cam and shit like that. It was a good fucking game. It had a great story. Well, great story. It had an entertaining story. And the game was solid. Except for illegal touching. Boom. Blue Reflection. Maybe the easiest S tier so far. No, Phasmophobia is way easier and the Neverhood, but Blue Reflection is an easy S tier. Blue Reflection gave us so many great moments. I felt genuinely invested with all of the characters by the end. It was just a great game. Denny's really sold. I mean, Denny's was the icing, right? That was the candy right on top, baby. That was the good shit. Blue Reflection was a phenomenal game. I've replayed Blue Reflection since then on the harder difficulty, just to play it again and see if I missed anything, which I did miss a lot. Nothing super. It was just friendship shit though. Blue Reflection Second Light, C tier. As a game, it's fine. It just tried to do too much with the cooking and all that, and the base building. It just tried way too much. Way too much. And the story didn't land nearly as hard either. It had stealth mechanics. Just give me Denny's, right? Give me girls eating at Denny's. That's what I'm there for. I really think I'm really rethinking Morrowind. I'm really rethinking Morrowind because the 2 hours that I played of that game, I think I was walking on a road for maybe 50% of that. I didn't really actually get to experience the game at all. I know Morrowind's a great game. People talk about it all the fucking time. But based on my experience, how I perceive the game, I don't even think I can put it at C. I don't think I can. It's got to go at D. I hate to do that because I know Morrowind's a good game and it's got good story. From what I've heard, I've never experienced it. Again, Elder Scrolls Online is the best Elder Scrolls game I've ever played. And I was able to make that distinction at the same amount of gameplay time. That's what I'm getting to, I guess. For a comparison, I was 2 hours into Elder Scrolls Online, and I already knew that this was the best Elder Scrolls game ever made. 2 hours after Morrowind, I had really not done anything. So I don't know. It obviously doesn't say anything for the longevity of the game or the length of the actual playthrough, but I don't know. And in Daggerfall 2, I also, in the first 2 to 3 hours, I was enjoying the game. I just think Morrowind maybe backfills its game a lot, and the end of the game's really good. Maybe, I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot going on in the beginning. Minecraft. B tier, I think. Had some good moments. Most of it was because of mods. But I think, inherently the game itself was entertaining as well. So I think B tier's fine. Golf It. C tier? I don't know. It's another one of those games like Human Fall Flat or Who's Your Daddy where I guess it could go up. It's similar to those games. It makes sense with those games. It I don't know. It's good. Yeah, a good portion of early game for Morrowind is doing guild work so that you are established in Morrowind before you start hunting down the big bad guy. That's fair. That's a different approach than Elder Scrolls Online because it's just really genuinely good side quests in the beginning of the game for Elder Scrolls Online. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just a different way to write a story, and I just vibe better with the Elder Scrolls Online. I mean, if I put more time into Morrowind, I'd probably vibe with it. I might try playing it on my own whenever I have time, because I do think the game deserves that, but I don't know. Bloodborne. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm putting Bloodborne in A tier. It ain't going up into S tier. The game was just too fucking easy. I mean, I beat the second hardest the Queen of the Cosmos or whatever the fuck her name was in like my second try. I beat the final boss on my second try. The game's fucking easy. We're not going to talk about that fucking spider thing. How many times that took? Don't look at that. We're not going to talk about the triplets, the magic triplets. We're not going to talk about that. The game was just too fucking easy for me. It was so fucking easy. That boss you got stuck in the butt. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about any of it. The game is just too easy. But in all seriousness, we had some great memories with it, but I just can't put it on the same level as like Blue Reflection or Final Fantasy X. It just did not. It was great, but I think it suffered a little bit from it being during a transition period between me having no face cam to having face cam. I didn't really know what I was doing with face cam. I wasn't comfortable with it. So I don't know. It's great. It's my favorite Souls game is Bloodborne, but I don't know. It doesn't live up. I would play Blue Reflection, I think, before I played Bloodborne. If I was asked to stream something again, I would definitely do Blue Reflection. Ooh. I'm gonna do this. B tier for 1, C tier for 2. The reason I say this is because the first game is a classic. We played it all the way through. We had a great time. There was funny moments. There was big titties. The second game tries too much. The second Baldur's Gate 2 Dark Alliance game tries way too fucking much. You don't know where the fuck to go. It's just too much shit at once. I think while I do this, I should also rank Champions Return to Arms, which is an easy A tier. It is the best out of the 3 Diablo clones from that era that we played. There were so many fucking memes that came out of Champions Return to Arms. Eagle was moaning for the majority of the mermaid caves. It's just a fucking great game. It's such a great game. Did we ever beat it? I don't think so, because I think the emulator broke. I believe. Either that or Parsec broke, one of the two. But goddamn, it is very good. League of Maidens. No, it's Parsec? Oh, okay. Oh yeah, because we couldn't like connect or some shit, right? League of Maidens, C tier. I really want to go back to it. Would we start again, do you think? Or would we just complete our storyline? I don't even know if I'd have it. I think it was on my old computer, so I don't even think I have the save files anymore. Actually, I should. It should be on my external drive, so I should still have the save files. League of Mans, I don't have much to say about it. There were big titties and big ass. There was nice ass physics, right? You don't see that very often. But man, you run around as a hot lady shooting zombies with an M4 and flying around. Wow! It's all right. Erica was the first Wales Interactive game that we played. And it was pretty fucking good. B tier, I think. We didn't get anything long-lasting out of it. We didn't get any memes. We just had a good time. It was a genuinely good game. Guild 2, great game, but was horrible for stream, so honestly gonna put it at D. I love the Guild 2. I love it a lot, but it was almost negative for stream, right? I would put it in trash for stream. If it wasn't such a good game, it would be in trash. Unfortunate. Muck. Ooh. This is going to be another controversial situation. I'm going to put Muck in A tier, and this is why. If we would have done this list before we came back to Muck, it would be an S tier. Because it was the appeal of the unknown, right? We didn't know what the ending was. We didn't know how it ended. But when we had the people join that knew everything about the game and kind of blasted us to the end and carried us to the end, it kind of ruined that mystique. It ruined just how long the game would take to beat. Oh my God, this is a game with endless content. It immediately got turned into a game with no content at all. So that's sad. And for that reason, it goes from an S to an A. Again, I think Muck really deserves to be an S, but it was ripped from us so aggressively that I don't think I could put it in S anymore. Because we would probably still be doing some streams of Muck now if we wouldn't have had that experience. Fallout 76, D tier. We had a great little stream. We had a great 30 minutes of that stream. The rest was us walking around not knowing what to do. Shotgun Legend, again, most people probably don't remember that I played this game. I only played 15 minutes of it, and it was kind of fucking booty cheeks, so place it in D. Cabela's Dangerous Hunts 2013. This was the first time I had Jericho on stream. My hunter persona, and man, it's got to go in A tier. The amount of it was only a 2-hour game front to back on the hardest difficulty, but it was nuts to butt action the entire time. And just the oh no from the menu screen alone fucking killed me. But the game was so fucking heavy the entire time. So, we need more Jericho. I know. I need to get Jericho back out. The problem is I don't have Jericho hair anymore, so I'd have to... Maybe I'd get a bandana or something. I'd tie it on my head with sunglasses. That'd be pretty badass. Or I could just use my Shut Up and Fish hat, which is really funny, with the shut up on the side. Okay. Thank you. When you say Jericho, I think of Jericho from Fallout 3. When I say Jericho, I think of that quote. That's what I think of. Streets of Rage remake. A tier. It was a very short experience, but it was a great remake, and it made for a great stream. I wouldn't stream it again. I'd maybe restream one of the other games in the compilation, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't go back to the game that I played. I had a great time. Yeah. That's all I really have to say about it. Welcome out, Miranek, by the way. Dead Bits. This is one we were speedrunning. D tier. It didn't really leave an impact at all. Same with Moemon. We played this for 2 streams. And I still feel dirty. Like, I just feel gross whenever I think of Moemon. This next one. This is Nekopara Cat Boy Paradise. We technically beat this game. We got an ending. Yeah. That's where we got the tomato wado. That's where we got the queen. This is one I want to put in trash, but everybody here, I would be smitten. I would be smited down if I put that in anything below B. Because it was maybe some of the most enjoyable streams I did in that. Not for me, but for you guys. It was very enjoyable. Do I put it on the same level as Bloodborne? I don't think I do. I think it sits with all these other ones. I think it sits comfortably in B. All right. I mean, that's the thing is like B is kind of where I'm putting like the good games that are like barely good and like kind of not meh. A has some serious players in it. Final Fantasy 14, Juice Galaxy, Bloodborne, like every single one of these means business in A, right? There's a reason. If I were to put this in A, it would be very out of place. But one that does go into A and borders on S is Dead Island. Because my God, were these some of the most fun? I mean, this might have been the most fun I've ever had doing a community stream. These streams were so fucking fun. Those fucking exploding knives. It was so fucking fun. We got a lot of clips. I mean, it's probably the most clipped game, too. Like, there's so many clips. Fine. I'm comfortable with either, but I think it deserves S, right? I think based on everything that I've explained about A, it would feel weird in A. It feels better in S. Oh. This is another A to S situation. Wizardry 8, again, was another diamond in the rough, because I don't think if I had... Because there's a lot of games that are like it that have the same mouth movement thing. I think if I were to do another game like that now, it just wouldn't have the same steam behind it. This one, however, I think I'm comfortable putting in A, and this is why I think that. There was a lot of really great moments in Wizardry 8, but there was also a lot of sections of the game that were really fucking boring. If you remember the times where I would be walking from city to city, and I would get trapped by fucking, like, 10 mosquitoes, and I'd have to back myself into a corner so that I could bottleneck them towards me for, like, 35 minutes... Didn't feel great, but it was still a fun game. It was still a great game. And it was a great stream game too, but I don't think it comes up to the caliber of these games. Neverwinter Nights. I'm okay with trash. Neverwinter Nights is the second best Dungeons & Dragons game that you can get that emulates Dungeons & Dragons. But my God. Did we have so many fucking issues with the game, and it didn't save any of Eagle's progress from the first stream. If it would have done that, we're talking like A, maybe S. But my God, we would have had like so many fucking streams of this game. But it didn't save any of his progress at all. So, unfortunate. Ember, solid C tier. We had a good one stream of it, but again, it was kind of a gimmick issue again. But it wasn't nearly as good as the other gimmick issues. Pajama Sam 1, B tier. B tier, I think. I think that playing through Pajama Sam 1 again was really fun, but it wasn't earth-shattering for stream or anything. We got some funny bits, but it wasn't earth-shattering. Pajama Sam 3, we only played the first, 30 minutes of, so I guess I'm going to do D tier. The first 30 minutes were not very enticing. We got thrown in jail, and that was about it. The first 30 minutes of Pajama Sam 1 were very enticing, so what do you do? Sunhaven, trash. I don't like that game. The Dame was loaded. Oh. When did we play Sunhaven? I played a stream of Sunhaven, and I did not like it at all. I played that fucking probably 2 years ago now. I'd have to go back to it. It was definitely in a very early state when I played it. But this is based on my perception of the game and how I've experienced the game. Maybe it's great, but I don't know. We did not have a good time. The Dame was loaded. I think it would be an A if I didn't have to replay the entire beginning of the game, like the first hour of the game off stream, because I missed one dialogue option, so it was unbeatable for the second stream. So, B tier. Ooh. No, B tier. The second stream was not good. All the charm of it was gone after me having to replay the beginning. Alien Isolation, C tier, I guess. It's fine, but the horror element kind of goes away pretty quickly. So, whatever. Mother, a decent game. Great game. Concise. I got the premise. I like the premise. And we got through it pretty quick. Oh my god, we're actually getting through this list pretty quick. We're about halfway. No, a little bit more than halfway. Outlast, based on what we played, D tier. The game itself, I played through the whole game. It was great. But it did not make good for a stream game for us. But a horror game that did make a good stream game was Silent Hill Homecoming. Silent Hill Homecoming was fucking great. Going back and playing that game, we had a bit towards the beginning of the third act where I had no fucking clue where to go. I was super lost. But we made it through. The game was really fun. It was a good ending. Oh. Man. Oh my god. So I'm going to put Injustice in A because a lot of the fun that I had with Injustice was not because of Injustice. It was because of the conversations we were having around Injustice. Shitting on Damien, talking about how different the characters were in this universe than most universes, talking about how much of a dick some of the characters were. It had really nothing to do with the actual game. But people seem to really like it and really get engaged with the game. People were here for it. And once Injustice 3 comes out, you know I'm fucking playing that shit day one. Speaking of Batman, and I think one that goes in the... No, not... It wasn't as good. Batman Telltale series was good, but it wasn't as good as Injustice. Killing Floor 2, C. I didn't really have any feelings on it. The Complex... On par with Erica? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know. I liked Erica a lot, and the Complex didn't really deliver on that. But it was still fun. Actually, I'll put it here. No, I'll put it here because I've got ones that can go below it, which is not this one. Who Pressed Mute on Uncle Marcus goes in A tier. 50% of that A tier is because of Abby. It's not the best Wales interactive game that we've ever played, but the aftermath puts it into A tier, right? I think it would be maybe B, high C if it was just the game. Maybe even like bottom C. Yeah, exactly. Maybe even D. I could see an argument for D. But with Abby, it's got to be A tier. Soccer Angel, D tier. We didn't really play much of it. Convenience Store, C tier. Hotel on the Great. This was a fucking fever dream. But I don't think I could put it above. I loved when we were playing it. It was really fucking. It never stopped. It never stopped. Oh, the 5-date game? You got that up there? I've never actually played that one. I did not play that one on stream. I have that one planned for Valentine's Day this year. So stay tuned for that. I never played that. I have 5 dates and 10 dates planned for Valentine's Day. Well, the Valentine's Day week. Hole on the Great never stopped being weird. The entire time I was playing it. The gimmick never died. It just kept being more gimmick. So I think it has to go up by the gimmick games. It's got to go up with the other gimmicks. I was about to say Valentine's Day isn't happening for me. I don't know if I'll actually do a stream on Valentine's Day. When is it this year? Or this upcoming year? Wednesday. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway. Plumbers don't wear ties. Oh, okay. My God, this was a fucking great game. I think this is the first one that's been like this. This might be the easiest A tier ever because it doesn't come close to S tier, but it sits very comfortably in A tier. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties was a phenomenal game for what it was. I didn't really contribute much to it, but man, it's good. It's good. It's fucking good. I actually recommend that game to people that want to try FMV games. I recommend Plumbers Don't Wear Ties because it's only going to get less weird from there. While we do that, we'll do Out of Service, which again, this is more of a personal grab for me. Out of Service was a student developer game that, man, now that I've gotten into game design, FMV games like that are actually pretty easy to make. You just have it in a room where you start the game with the first video, and then you have 2 options, and then it branches to the 2 next videos. It's super easy to make. But yeah, A tier, for sure. For sure, Out of Service. So, a Retro Rogue FMV game confirmed. Stay tuned. Left 4 Dead 2. I think a good B tier. It was a great game. Having over 100 mods on it was really, really funny. And the game itself is legendary. Left 4 Dead 2, fucking, if you've been alive since the Xbox 360, you know about Left 4 Dead 2. Even if you haven't, you probably know something about it. Barbie Supermodel, C tier. Power Rangers Time Force, arguably a worse game, but it came up with Eagle's Pain, and Eagle's Pain is so... It's sweeter than candy, Eagle's Pain is. Eagle's Pain and Suffering is a sweet, delicious treat that everyone can enjoy. So that's why it goes into B. And Barbie Supermodel goes into C, unfortunately. There it comes. There it goes. All right. Well, we'll let that play out in its entirety while we go through the next couple of games. Kingdom The Far Reaches was a very interesting full motion video game where Eagle and I played it? It's a small silver lining knowing my pain has the most cost. True. I also didn't want people to have the 1.5-minute long sound alert at a 25-bit price. That could lead to some issues. It was okay. Kingdoms of Far Reaches was okay. It was just okay. Here comes our next trash pick, baby! Ruby Grim Eclipse was the worst fucking game ever. This game fucking sucks ass. I think I was able to refund it. I think. I don't remember. Am I still stuck with that game? I'm not. Okay. That game fucking blows. Devour, on the other hand, pretty mid. I honestly can't believe I got you to play it. I mean, listen, I was feeling generous, I guess. This is not a good thing to rank on how our fucking games this morning went, because they went fucking horribly. But C tier for Apex. Stream game, nobody really gives a shit, and the game itself is kind of in an interesting state right now. That being said, Dragon Age Origin, a healthy B. Kind of got, we had to take it off hard at the end because I valued my own time. But I don't know. I think it went well. I think the way that I played the game really irked people because it was a very bizarre ending that I got. And people didn't seem to like that, but I liked the game and it was great. And that's the best thing about those type of games is no matter what ending you get, it's the ending that you got. So that's what you get. Toonstruck, A tier. I think the amount of quotes alone that came out of Toonstruck is phenomenal. So I'm comfortable with A tier. I will say the thing keeping it out of S tier was the actual gameplay. The actual gameplay itself was not great, and I had to use a walkthrough for most of it. But it was a great game. Walking into a barn and seeing a cow strapped to the wall in BDSM gear is something that I cannot get out of my brain. It's never going to come out. That's always up here, baby. Ooh, this is interesting. We got to the Final Fantasy section. I'm going to try and speed through this. Final Fantasy 1, B tier. Final Fantasy 2, the way that we played it, B tier. Final Fantasy Legend, C tier. Final Fantasy 3, B tier. Final Fantasy Legend 2, D tier. Final Fantasy Adventure, Final Fantasy Adventure up in B tier. Final Fantasy 4, A tier. Maybe S tier? No, A tier. Final Fantasy Legend 3 in the fucking gutter. And Stranger of Paradise, Chaos, B tier. I think it was a decent game. It was great for what it was. We're gonna go back and play it, and I'm gonna play because there's updates. You can play as the other characters now, and you can change their classes around. So I might do like Black Mage only, where everyone stays as a Black Mage. That'd be kind of fucking weird. But yeah. We've talked ad nauseum of the Final Fantasy games that we've been playing on the channel, so I think this makes sense. Spyro the Dragon, very short game. We beat it in one stream? Question mark. I'm pretty sure. That being said, classic platformer. The end was kind of dumb. I think it was 2 streams. Was it? Maybe. This is my childhood game. Be nice to Spyro. Trash! No. It's like 5 hours long. Maybe? This is where, at this point, we have to look at what's in the category and see how it holds up with the other options. It's definitely not trash or D. That's for sure. And I don't feel comfortable putting it in S or A. I don't think. It does not. I don't think it belongs up here with Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, Madden 21, Realm Reborn. I don't think it belongs up there. Wait, before I do this, I need to make another movement. As much as I like Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, it doesn't belong in A. It does not. The amount of really boring shit at the end where we just had to watch a montage of them going through Hollywood for 15 minutes without any dialogue. Not great. But, yeah. I'll put it in B. That being said, Spyro also in B, I think. I think as a series, I like Spyro a lot. The first game, though, it's good. It's good. It's good. I think it's comfortable in B. I could be persuaded for C or A, though. So I think B is where I gotta leave it. And I hate myself doing this, but Ratchet and Clank's going down to C. This is my childhood game, but playing it again made me realize I'm not a huge fan of Ratchet and Clank 1. I love Ratchet and Clank 2. So I'll put it in C. Oh well. Sly Cooper, B as well, I think. We found an unlimited live exploit really fucking fast, like in the first world. So that's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. And Jak and Daxter, guys, you're gonna crucify me. But I did not like the first. It was not that great, right? The first Jak and Daxter game was the same shit every area, and it just wasn't that great. It wasn't that great. I'm sorry to say, right? It's not that great. It's going in D tier. It's not trash, but it's going in D tier. Police Quest SWAT, D tier. It was really funny with the FMV shit, but it's just not a good game. Against Jak 2 and Jak 3 that are tasty. Oh, it doesn't. I know that. I people have made that abundantly clear to me. Jak 1 is just not a great game. Let me know how many of you guys do. I'll wait. Ready or Not was great for the first 2 hours. And after that, it got a little too serious. So, I guess we'll put it at C. It's whatever. Shell Shock. This might be recency bias, but holy fuck, was that a fun stream. That was such a fun time. Like, front to back, super fucking fun. I need to see more streams, though, to be convinced that it should be an A. I don't think that I could put Shell Shock in A just yet. It definitely has potential to be A or even S. Not best game, but A or S, depending on how streams go in the future. But right now, B. It's just too early. Too early to tell. 40, huh? All right, there's the first 10. Dungeon of the Endless, C tier. It was all right. It's a great game, but the stream was good that we did of it. All the streams that we've ever done of it beforehand were not super great, though, so we'll just put it in C for now. Pokemon Infinite Fusion. Man, it had a great start, right? It had a great start. The shorts were doing great in the beginning. The end was super rushed, but I think that's just how Kanto is. Like, you really start to snowball in Kanto if you're not doing a Nuzlocke. It's got to be A tier. It left a really big impression on me. And again, it might be recency bias, but was good. And we got a lot of new people from it, so like... $20. Oh, Transformice. Now, this is an interesting little scenario. Transformice was a really fun experience when played with others. And I played a lot of it beforehand. And it felt kind of addicting. But once we got into the weird pedo shit at the end, I realized the majority of the fan base of this game, just based on the conversation we were seeing, children and 40-year-old men. So if we wouldn't have had that experience, it probably would have been S tier. I would have done at least one more stream of it. As it stands, I'm looking at these two categories. Because I'm really thinking about how much of it was genuine fun and how much of it was fun because I was playing it with you guys. I think it's because I was playing it with the community. I gotta put it in D tier because I think there's genuine passion behind the game, or at least there was at some point, and now it's just a shell. It's just a graveyard of like predators. Yeah, we'll put it at D. Fear 3, we'll put it at trash. That game is fucking awful. Fear 3, we beat in one stream, and oh my god, was it fucking bad. It was so bad. There were parts of it that were fun, right? But it was because I was just playing the game goofy, right? Like we were just playing the game wrong. Man, was it fucking bad. Sir Whoop-Ass, upon further review, I gotta put it D tier. The gimmick in the first 2 hours, maybe hour, was funny, but it reminds me a lot of Stanley Parable and how that game never loses steam. This game lost steam very quickly. And I think it's because of how unstructured it was, right? Because Stanley Parable is very structured, and everything that happens in it happens for a reason. Within reason. Sir Whoop-Ass felt like a lot of jank game mechanics mixed with like fourth wall breaking, like hyper aware comedy, which is very hard to make land. That's why I'm very scared about Genfinod, which is the like self-aware RuneScape clone. Which is the next MMO that I'm going to be doing. And man, I don't know if it lands. I don't know if it will land. It definitely did not land for me with Sir Whoop-Ass. And I think it's because there was so much time in between the self-referential jokes. Like in the Stanley Parable, it's pretty constant, right? In Sir Whoop-Ass, there's just too much time in between. Now, this one is going to hurt Len if I put it anywhere too low. Champions Online. And Champions Online, from what I played of it, the thing about Champions Online, I'm going to put it down for a second so I don't actually put it somewhere. The thing about Champions Online is I see the game. I can play as much as I played of it, and I see the entire rest of the game and how good it probably is. It's just not a game for me, I don't think. I love the idea of the game. It's a game that you can just run around and have fun and like kind of like mindlessly beat shit up for a while and like, but there's also like a dedicated community that's really aggressive with the game and pretty endgamey. But man, it's just not for me. It's not for me. That being said, I think the game itself, it's a very great MMO. Like not even a very good, a very great MMO. And for a stream game, it made for great content for a while. I don't know how much content I'd be able to make out of it after what we did. There might seem, Len talked about there being like cornier, more goofy stuff and like other things that we could do. But as it stands, I think it has to go in B. I think I couldn't put it in A and justify it, I don't think. Also, Pixar, welcome out. We've got a lot of it done, but you caught the tail end. 7 Days to Die. C. You know, it was a fine stream, but it's all right. Yep, like the adventure stories, right? Like there's a lot that I missed, and I know just based on the quality of what I experienced, I can assume there is quality in the majority of the other aspects of the game. Like playing, what's an MMO equivalent to this? I know that when I play Fallout 76, what I play is kind of going to be what I get for the rest of the game. You get that experience sometimes. Dragon Ball Fighter Z, C tier. It started off great. I was having a good time, and then it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Thank you. Dragon Ball Fighter Z is very repetitive, unfortunately. I think we made him go through the whole bottle. There is maybe a quarter of an inch left floating around in there. So that's good. Thank you! It was 3/4 full when I started this. Thank you. But yeah, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, it got very samey, from what we played. I'm guessing that the more we played of it, the more, I can't imagine how much more diverse it would be. We almost unlocked all the characters that we could get, so whatever. Corpse Party. Corpse Party was interesting because I had a couple of people that were very adamant that I should play the game subbed. And the reason I did not play the game subbed is because I wanted to have a fully immersive experience. So that if people want to play it subbed and experience that, they can go do that. But I played like Pixar, right? But I played it with my voice acting mainly because I wanted people to be able to, whenever I play a game on stream, I want people to be able to walk away, right? I want people to be able to walk away, do whatever they're doing, and then come back and be able to listen to it and still be able to follow along. I don't want people to be locked in to what they're doing, to me, the whole stream, no matter what, just in case they miss something. I don't like that. I wasn't a huge fan of that with Blue Reflection, but I did a lot of voice acting for that too. And I think that's where I kind of lost some things with Blue Reflection 2, was there was a little less of that need for voice acting because there were voices. But I agree that Corpse Party with voice acting is the best way to play it because the voice actors fucking kill it. However, It's just not what I wanted to provide. And other streamers have played it with the voice acting. It's not what I wanted to provide. That being said, Corpse Party is still a phenomenal game. But it's not the best horror game that we played. And I don't think it's on the same level as any of the A-tier games. At all. I just don't think it is. Call of Duty World at War, C-tier. It's alright. Bullet per Minute, I played for one stream, and we had fucking major stream issues. So, I guess D-tier. I love Bullet BPM. It's definitely my favorite rhythm game. Wait a minute. I can't say that because of our next contestant, which is White Boys with Attitude, The Pursuit of Money. This shit, A-tier. Easy A-tier. White Boys with Attitude was a fucking hilarious experience and a show of just how you don't need any experience to make a game. You don't need any idea. You just need to throw that shit together and call it a day. Because there's barely any game in White Boys with Attitude. There's barely any game at all. But it was still a phenomenal experience. The bunker was trash. I hated the bunker. There was no voice acting at all. Bloodshore is a C. Bloodshore was funny, but it was just all right. Awkward Steve duology. C, I guess. It was better than the bunker. I did not like the bunker at all. And the ending was stupid. Crystal Project. I played a lot of Crystal Project outside of stream. Am I going to let that influence my decision here? No. Crystal Project was not... Crystal Project took the problems that I had with Bravely Default 2 as a stream game and multiplied that to the 10th degree. Where it's a lot of grinding, building up subclasses, building up all these side classes, so that you can then mix and match all the classes however you want and have a good time that way. It's a great game, and I love that as a playstyle, but that does not translate well to an entertaining experience. And this hurts more. This might be one of the hardest things that I've done on this list so far. I think Crystal Project is a D. Because as much as I love the game, the entire point of the game is exploration and job system management, which are not interesting at all from a viewer perspective. I don't think. And it really showed with the lack of engagement that we had on those streams. So I stopped playing it. The Last of Waifus, a little 30-minute experience that we found. Somehow kicking around, I still see videos made about this game. Like a couple months ago, I saw a video made about this game. But D tier, if we're being real. But Shopkeep 2. Shopkeep 2 is a really sad situation because Shopkeep 2 is a really fun game, but the development of the game stopped completely. Like, they have gone off the face of the earth. They haven't made anything since. And it's really sad, but my God, is it a fun game. And it was really fun playing it with Eagle and, like, having that on and off. Like, I would go out and explore. He's taking care of the shop. Like, it was a very interesting experience, and I loved it a lot. I think it deserves B tier. I think so. Slashers Keep, not a great stream game. Honestly, not that good of an actual game either. Virtual Villagers, a horrible stream game. The game, actually, we're going to put it down here. It is the worst stream game when it should actually be a pretty decent stream game. Betty enjoyed selling things to the customers. Exactly. Like, it was a great time for what it was. Virtual Villagers seems like it would be a great thing for stream because it's just something that happens in the background. But it keeps going all night. So we would have entire chunks of time missed. We would have We would stream for 3 hours, and then 21 hours of the day, it would still be going. So it just did not work out. Unfortunately. The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, good time. But honestly, C tier. It was fine, but it's a C tier. Trash! Tibia is awful. I hate Tibia so much. It's so bad. It's so ass. I hate this fucking game. It's just stupid and boring and dumb. Remnant 2, second favorite Soulsborne game, but not because of how they want me to play the game. That's what's keeping me from putting it up by Bloodborne. I think it goes in B tier because I'm playing it melee only, which is definitely not how they intend for you to play the game. They intend for you to play it more that way than in the first game, because the first game had like 2 melee weapons and they were awful. But I still made it. But this game had a good bit of melee weapons and they had a class built around it. So like they at least anticipated it a little bit. They obviously didn't really anticipate for you to have it as their main focus, like as maybe a subclass. But it was great. It was great. I think if I would have... So since the areas are random that you get when you play the game, if I would have gotten like a jungle area and then like another shitty area, I probably wouldn't have liked the game as much. But I got the fucking Bloodborne area right away, and that shit fucking bangs. So it's a good game. And then I guess the last one on the list, unless anyone else can think of anything, we have Resident Evil 4 randomized. This was a great game. This was during a time where I wasn't able to make streams very consistently, but because I was having stream issues and I was going through a lot of things personally. But this game was something that was able to kind of root me down, and it helped me. Oh my god, how many it's been 3 ad breaks in a row! This is the 3rd ad break. It just goes ad break. Warning for an ad break. Ad break. Warning for an ad break. Ad break. Are you going to have another warning for an ad break immediately after this? Fucking Twitch is a joke. This is a fucking joke. Big Fish. I mean, Big Fish alone puts it in B for me, but honestly, this really meant a lot to me while I was going through a lot of shit. It was such a good grounding experience for me because I had this to like kind of drive my stream along. That being said, we've got a couple more games that just were listed. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker randomized. D tier. It broke after the first stream, so... And, oh, if I can find a picture of it. Oh, there it is. We got Muck on there. We're gonna review everything here in a second. But this is this is another thing that was a lightning in a bottle. We have yet to find something that was as good as Monkey Tycoon. All right, Eagle. Have a good night, man. We have yet to find something that's as good as Monkey Tycoon for a 3rd game. Cow Tycoon or Milk Tycoon, whatever it was, it's just the exact same game, so it doesn't really count. I hate to say it, but for what it did, it's A tier. I mean, it was a fucking phenomenon at some point. Everybody was playing that shit. Everybody was playing Monkey Tycoon. Everybody in the chat, everybody has time in Monkey Tycoon. It's crazy. I've never had a game that I've been playing have other people be like, I gotta get in on this shit. Like, oh, fuck yeah, dude, I gotta get in on this shit. I got straight up addicted to Monkey Tycoon. I had Monkey Tycoon playing in the background off stream. You know what? Fuck it. It's going up into S tier. This game was an actual I don't believe how well it went over. But what do you do? Okay, so let's look over everything. In trash, I'm kind of second guessing Sunhaven. On God, I have a XL Starlight Monkey. Holy fuck, dude. Oh my God. I stopped at nuclear. Oh, that's when it gets good. That's when the game gets good. I gotta take Sunhaven out. I didn't play it enough. It's the same thing as like Morrowind. Like I didn't play it enough, so I can't put it in. I can't put it in trash. But man, I did not have a good experience. Maybe I'll play it again. Maybe I'll play it after stream. Who knows? I'll probably play more Final Fantasy 15 after stream actually, but. I think trash is where it needs to be. Is there anything I want to bring down to trash or bring up to see? You know what? In its current state, I don't think RuneScape can be a D. I think RuneScape is in the trash. I'm and maybe this will get them to change their ways, but this with the battle pass was the last fucking straw for me. That was the final nail in the coffin for them just not fucking listening to the community. Like, they didn't even fucking try. It's so fucking bad. And it's just, it's almost disrespectful. They pulled the plug on the battle pass real quick, though. But it showed the dirty undercarriage, right? It showed just how greedy they are for that game. And, like, I get it. They probably need more money to, like, fund RuneScape, old school RuneScape. But, like, I don't know. Do something else. They were willing to do it, which is bad enough. Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. It's like, it's one of those, like, you let it out of the bottle. We all know about it now. So, like, all my respect, the little shred of respect I had for the RuneScape team went down the fucking toilet. I've given up on RuneScape ever coming back from this shit. I mean, the people that play RuneScape will still play RuneScape, but I mean, it's just sad. It's just sad. Shotgun Legend can come down here too. It's just not a good game. It's fine, but it's just not a good game. I think I like D though. I think I like where everything is here. I don't know if I'd move anything up. I don't think I would. I think everything here makes sense to me. In C tier, I think is Shotgun Legend the police sim nonsense? No, Shotgun Legend was a Legend of Zelda clone, like OG Legend of Zelda clone, where you just ran around with a shotgun. It was not great. I'm not gonna shit on it too much, but like it's just not a good game. I gotta pull Apex down here too, into D. Apex is in a pretty rough state right now, as well as it just does not do well on our streams. It does well for a lot of people's streams, but not ours. Not at all. Wizard 101 and Pirate 101 are on the same tier. The same with DC Universe. They're all in the same caliber for me. Divinity Original Sin 2, again, C. Harboring on D, but I won't be that harsh. Realm of the Mad God is fine here. The Complex is fine here. Vindictus is fine here. Kingdom Come Deliverance. Again, a great game. It's just, for stream, it just does not work out. Medieval Dynasty, for now, C tier. But stay tuned on that, because they're releasing a multiplayer update in a month. So, stay tuned. Ultima Online, I feel fine with C. Conqueror's Blade, again, very forgettable. Gothic 3, it's okay. It's just a worse Two Worlds. How could I forget about my boy? I'm sorry. In all fairness, Two Worlds is like a B. But it's just a worse Two Worlds. I barely remember Terraria, only that it was the game I came to this channel on. Terraria, and I'll reiterate what I said before. Terraria is a great game, a phenomenal game. It's the best of its kind, right? It blows Starbound out of the water. Starbound's way too complicated. It's a great 2D builder and survival game. But as a stream game, that's what brings it up to like a B, maybe A tier. But man, again, if I was doing this list 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we'd be talking maybe A, maybe S. As a stream game, though, it's just not what it used to be at all. You've got to do a gimmick. You've got to do something. It's just not good. It's just not good for stream now. I came in during one of the Pokemons. I was you were a Geodude. Oh, decent. I don't know which one. Maybe Snakewood? I don't remember playing Snakewood for that long, though. So, maybe not. The Final Fantasy Legend. It's the best of the ones that we've played so far. Romancing Saga's getting good, and it's probably going to beat it out, but Final Fantasy Legend was a decent game. It belongs in C. Super Seducer 3 could be put down in D just with how much worse it is than the first two, but it's still a Super Seducer game, right? PlanetSide 2, mid. Blue Reflection 2, kind of a letdown. Dark Alliance 2, too convoluted. League of Maidens. Oh, God. All this water's going on the wrong pipe. It's got me coughing. League of Maidens, you play as a hot chick running around shooting zombies and flying around. Woo! Ember was a decent one-off. Alien Isolation got not scary really quick. Killing Floor 2, we only did for one stream, and it was all right. Convenience Store was all right. Barbie Supermodel was all right. Kingdom Far Reaches was all right. I like Devour a lot, but it got kind of boring after a while. Like, it got less scary. Ratchet & Clank, I realized I like Ratchet & Clank 2 better. Ready or Not was really good first, like, an hour and a half. Then we got too serious with the game, because the game is pretty serious. So it got less fun. Dungeon of the Endless and 7 Days to Die. Great one-off streams, but doesn't have the same stream potential as some of the games above it. So C makes sense. Dragon Ball Fighter Z, again, a great game, but it's just not a great stream game for the story, at least. Maybe if I get way further into it, it'll be better, but for now, it's not good. Call of Duty World at War, fine. Bloodshore, I didn't like it that much, but it was a decent stream. Awkward Steve Duology, I honestly don't remember that much, but it was kind of boring from what I remember. The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, again, kind of a letdown. It was funny at the beginning, but then it's just kind of a letdown. Tory Bash, it's fine there. Castle Miners, fine there. Daggerfall was fine there. Fall Guys, League of Angels 3, Dark Rising, Darkstone, Who's Your Daddy, Fuma Fall Flat, DDO. DDO would be higher if it was a better stream game. It's an okay stream game, but it's not great. Trophy Hunter would be way higher if it was a good game, but it's a good stream game, though. So it's the exact opposite situation in these games. Darkest Fairy. Bravely Default 2 had so many good moments, but there was a lot of boring moments, too. But the good moments were good enough to put it in B. Cursed Fode, B is fine. Had a lot of moments. It was just a goofy PUBG clone. Oblivion, best of the modern Elder Scrolls games. Minecraft, again, okay. Golf It was okay. We only played it once, though, I think. I don't know. Necoparo Catboys was a nightmare for me, but hey, everybody loved it, so here it is in B. Dark Alliance 1, great. Erica, the best? No, not the best. It was a good Wales interactive game. It wasn't the best, though, I don't think. Pajama Sam, good. Dame Was Loaded, great. Mother, very concise horror game, very good. Batman Telltale series was good, but not nearly as good as Injustice. Hotel on the Great? This one, I could put up or down. The problem is it was so weird the whole time, but I don't remember a damn thing about it. So I think, honestly, C. I'll put it in C. Left 4 Dead 2 is fine in B. Power Rangers Time Force is okay in B as well, because Eagle's Suffering is just a delicious treat. Dragon Age Origins, it's fine here because the end got annoying. All these Final Fantasy games I think deserve to be here for their own reasons that we've talked about 100 times. So we won't do that. We'll talk about them again. So stay tuned for that when we're playing more Final Fantasy games. Plumbers don't wear ties. I'm thinking about moving it up again. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties was an enigma. It was a day where we were playing a lot of full motion video games, and I'm okay with it being an A. I'm okay with it up here. Am I? Yeah, I'm okay with it being up here. Spyro, Sly, those make sense here. Shell Shock makes sense here for now. Again, could go up or down. If it's a horrible experience next time, it'll probably go down to C. Champions Online, it's a good spot in B. I see the potential, just not for me. Corpse Party, again, B. I think it'd probably be C if we did it subbed, because I would feel bad the whole time. Shopkeep 2, a great little experience, just unfortunate that it completely stopped all development for a while, or indefinitely. Remnant 2, I had a great time with it, but I definitely could see if I got stuck with a jungle world or a swamp world, like, I would be fucking miserable. And Two Worlds, I love the game, but come on. come on. Final Fantasy 14, great. This is, I think, where we'll have the most movement up here, potentially. We might not, actually. It looks pretty solid from a first glance. But Final Fantasy 14, the Hildebrand quests are great, but that's really about it. But it is Final Fantasy 14. It's Final Fantasy 14. It can't. I can't put it any lower. It can only go up. And if I streamed it more, I'd put it up. But I can't. Juice Galaxy, again, A tier. If it was longer and it kept its level of humor, S tier. But as it is, A tier. Stardew Valley, A tier. Gaten Kaitos, A tier. Shrine, A tier. Zelda Randomized, A tier. Wizardry 8. I can see it in both, but A tier for now. Or A tier is what I'm settling with. Caves of Quid, A tier. If I played a lot more of it, it could go up or down depending on my experience, but for now, A tier. Thief, Sea of Thieves, and Madden, or Thief and Sea of Thieves I was playing those at around the same time, and they were a great combo, like doing this as a collab game and then this as a solo game, because they had very different feels to them. Is Wizards on here? Yeah, it, well, listen, man, we don't need to talk about what's going on down here. I took the dog out back, and we took her up to the farm up north. We put her down. But yeah, these games I think deserve to be here. Again, Sea of Thieves on Tuesday. Get hype. Madden 21, a real lightning in a bottle situation. A lot of the A's are lightning in a bottle kind of situation, and same with a couple of the S's. But this is probably the prime example of a lightning in a bottle. I made space on my SSD for Sea of Thieves. I need to move mine over to my SSD. It's on my hard drive right now. Bloodborne, A. It could be S, but it doesn't. I don't think it is in the same caliber as these games up here. Champions Return to Arms, great game. Muck, again, would be S. Muck would be S if we didn't have the last stream when we just got carried to the end. That kind of killed the mystery of the game and how much was remaining and all that. Cabala's Dangerous Hunts was a great one stream. It was a perfect compact game. I felt bad for anyone that bought it in 2012 because fuck me. It's a short fucking game, but it was fun. Streets of Rage remake, great game. Silent Hill Homecoming, great horror game. One of the best horror games we played on stream, I think. Like one of the best like ongoing horror games. Injustice 2. It's better than these games. It's a low A. We'll put it over. This doesn't matter, the spacing, but just so I know, we'll put it over here. Who Pressed Mute on Uncle Marcus? This one's getting a high boost. This isn't the best. I honestly think Erica's better, but this is getting a high boost from the meme value. There's so much meme value from the Abbey. Out of Service is a personal bump for me. I fucking love this. It's hilarious to me. Toonstruck was really funny. There's so much of it that's ingrained into my memory, so I'm stuck with a lot of those a lot of that imagery. Like the giant talking foot. Never gonna get that out of my brain. The cow in BDSM gear fucking strapped to the wall getting whipped by a sheep. Never gonna get that out of my brain. Final Fantasy IV, best Final Fantasy game we've played so far? Question mark? Is that actually what I have it at? If it isn't, that's what it's at now. It is. Okay. It is, oh yeah, that's nice. Let's get back to the list. Let's get back to the list here. Yeah. Where's Final Fantasy 2? That is in B tier. B tier. The Warp was good, but not as good as Final Fantasy 4. It's just so fucking good. Pokemon Infinite Fusion, A tier. I think if I were to play the Johto stuff, I would have gotten really bored. Maybe. I would just steamrolled. I think if I nuzlocked it, I think if I played it again, I would probably nuzlock it. White Boys with Attitude. A fucking gem. Resident Evil 4, again, has a really special place for me. And we talked about these two. S tier. Final Fantasy X, obviously. Old School RuneScape, obviously. Natural Disaster Survival, obviously. Phasmo, obviously. Sims, obviously. Neverhood, obviously. Borderlands, obviously. Phantasmagoria can go down to A, because I can't say obviously for that one. Super Seducer, obviously. Super Seducer 2, obviously. Blue Reflection, obviously. Dead Island, obviously. Monkey Tycoon, obviously. Now, we have to make the best game. This is tough. This might be the toughest thing I've had to decide. What does everyone think? Out of what you're seeing on screen right now, because realistically, the best game isn't going to be any lower than this. Or if you have a strong opinion, what is it? I think I know Len's opinion, but I'd be curious, regardless. And this is not just the best game, but the best game, the best stream game, the best, the best overall experience. Let me read what you guys had to say. For me, it's between Dead Island and Phasmo as far as quotes / YouTube content. That's fair. I would be okay. I'd be okay with putting both of those up there, I think. Phasmo a little less than Dead Island. Okay, it's either got to be Old School RuneScape or Natural Disaster. Old School RuneScape I don't think I could put up there. It's an S tier game for sure, but I don't think it beats out any of the other S tiers for being up there. Personal fave is Final Fantasy X. With all things considered, I love Final Fantasy X, right? It's in my top 5 of all time, but I don't think I can put it up there. Resident Evil 4 for Big Fish and the personal attachment it has to me. Monkey Tycoon for the memes. Phaz is always a great time. True. Stardew was my personal favorite, but we spent so little time with it, and it can't be the best game. Right. And that's really what it comes down to with the A tiers, is like, we spent so much time with everything in S. Everything in S has a lot of time investment in it, or it's such a compact experience like the Neverhood that we were able to do it in one stream and it was very impactful. That being said, the Neverhood would not be up there for sure. Super Seducer 2 had a pretty active chat too. Super Seducer 2 was definitely the best Super Seducer for sure. I think it was because of the chat interaction. People were able to play the game. I think RE4 because of the emotional attachment and the experience of it. This is going up to S at least. Well, I've been convinced of putting it in S. Right now, I'm down to... Because Sims 4 was a pretty big... Like, every single one of those streams, people were having a great time with Sims 4. I'm still dumbfounded how you never got your case upgraded in RE4. I got so lucky, I guess. Like, The Sims 4 was great, but it had such a shitty send-off, right? That's why... If it were to come back, I would do it differently. Right now, I can cut out Final Fantasy X, Old School RuneScape, The Neverhood, Borderlands, Super Seducer 1. Hold on. Let me get this. Oh. So, this is what we're looking at. These 6 games as genuine best game contenders. I can get rid of Sims 4. I think maybe future state, we're talking a different story. But for now, I can get rid of it. Between Big Fish and more alcohol? Which one's more alcohol? Is that Dead Island? Yeah, okay. It feels so weird having a Roblox game in this. Oh, the champagne. That's right. Having a Roblox game in like being a legitimate contender as the best game we've ever done, because Natural Disaster Survival is such a genuinely good game. It should be taken out of Roblox and made into its own game. But compared to the other 4, I don't think it has a leg to stand on. Fall Guys, because of the pain it cost. No. So you want it to get the BattleBit treatment? I do. But I want it to be I want it to be in like a hyper-realistic setting. Like a first-person hyper-realistic disaster survival round-based game. That'd be really fun. But also as it is, it's super fun too. So but I don't think I can. It was here, but I don't think it can stay up there. This is hard. This is really hard. Because I think back, Super Seducer 2 changed my life. It changed, some of the, mannerisms that I have. Not, the actual dating advice or whatever, but, some of the jokes that came from it, I still say to this day. Resident Evil 4 has the same effect. I want to get it to a top 3. Did we get rid of Dead Island or Blue Reflection? Because Blue Reflection was a great period of time, and it was a great game. I played the game since. Never watched much of Blue Reflection, but it wasn't for everyone. That's true. But then Marinak says Blue Reflection has to win out over Dead Island. I think Blue Reflection was the first time that I actually really used voices, too. Before it would be 1 or 2 voices per playthrough, but... I gotta pull Dead Island down. And the reason for this is because I'm trying to think if I would have had the same experience playing Dead Island on my own. I'm not seeing it. You know? Playing it with Len and Eagle was a phenomenal experience, an S-tier experience, S+. But the actual game... I don't know, man. I don't know if I see it. I think it's fitting that the 3 games that I have are all solo playthroughs. Down to Big Fish versus Teddy's. Well, and Super Seducer 2, which had a lot of things. Can I ask something? Sure, what's up? My heater kicked on. I have my desk right next to our wall heater. That should kick down right now, and it is toasty. Said Sea of Thieves this Tuesday? Yeah. So if you want, you can watch us do it, and then we'll probably do more Sea of Thieves, assuming the game works. So if you don't want to drop the money now, you can always wait. because we'll do more of them. Me thinks. Eagle said you couldn't log back into it. We're going to give it another shot. The game had a lot of issues, but it was because of the game files. It is on sale for $20. You could also pick it up now. I think what I'm going to do before I end stream, have you got No Man's Sky? I have not, no. Even after all the updates, I just don't have any interest, unfortunately. It's the first game you're going to play with your brother? He said it was because of them requiring a Microsoft account. I have a Microsoft account. It wasn't because of the Microsoft account. It was just issues with the actual game. Like I was getting error lavender beard, I think. I will say No Man's Sky looks great. And it's probably really fun with friends, but like what game isn't fun with friends, you know? That's why I don't have any of those games in the final 3. Well, he told me wrong then. I mean, we haven't tried playing it in like 2 years, so wouldn't surprise me if he misremembered. But before I get off, I'm going to try and get into the game tonight, so we'll see how it goes. Can I put Super Seducer 2 above these two? I don't think so. Super Seducer 2 was a phenomenal game. But it has a lot of boring bits too. Like the end of the thing with Super Seducer games is they're very front loaded or middle loaded. Like the first 2 Sea of Thieves is 100 gigs. Oh yeah. It's crazy. The first and second Super Seducer, the first 2 acts are great. The last part of the game is pretty boring though. Maybe it's because there's just not much you can talk about, or because you just kind of get bored. But I think it's got to go back down to S. As much as I love Resident Evil 4, as much as I love Big Fish, as much as I love all the memories that came from Resident Evil 4 and how much it was good to me. It was good to me. I think Blue Reflection beats it out. I think the first Blue Reflection game, as weird as it seems, how does that feel? How does that feel? I'm not mad at this. I'd be mad at this, I think. I wouldn't be mad, like all that mad. I'd be like this mad, you know? But this, I'm not mad at all. Don't get me wrong, all of the S tier games are there for a reason, right? They're phenomenal games. For the actual game and as they were with stream. And most of them are also amazing. But this is a game that from the start of this list, as soon as I saw Blue Reflection, I knew that was going to be a contender as best game. When I first got the game and started playing it, I would have never thought that. But as soon as I started putting this list together and we got to Blue Reflection and I added it to the list, I was like, this is at least S tier, right? At the end of the day, I shouldn't be surprised that Blue Reflection wins on this channel. It's true. It's true. I mean, you wanted Juice WRLD to win. I don't think I could see. I don't know if I could see all of these S tier games beating Blue Reflection. Because that's when it really. That's when what we know of the channel as it is now really started. Everything before that was like old era, right? This is Blue Reflection was when I first realized maybe I shouldn't have my channel revolved around Dungeons and Dragons. Maybe I need to diversify. And we became Retro Rogue. This was what put the wheels in motion. It was a phenomenal game. Everyone was invested. And the ending was fitting. It was a great game. I think it makes sense being here. So this is the list. This is the final list. Oh my god, it's so big. This is the final list if you can see it. Can I presentation mode? Go back. I hope you got it, because it's gone. I hope you got it. All right. Well, got him. All we know is Blue Reflection wins. Yes, Brian?
Fuck.
Yes, I agree. And it's good that it's gone. We didn't save it so that in another 3 years we can come back and do it again with all the other games that we played. But let's see. Oh, he's still here. Let's see if I see Sea of Thieves downloaded. If I don't, I'm not going to be able to test it tonight. I do not. Well, I guess I'll try it tomorrow after it's done downloading. Or sometime way later tonight. But thank you everyone so much for coming out. Pixar, this was a phenomenal idea. Thanks for coming around with it. It was a really, really, really good idea. And this is definitely going to be something that we do as kind of a tradition. I don't know how frequently. I can't imagine yearly. We'd only add like maybe 10, 20 games, so probably not worth it. But anyway, everybody, thank you everyone so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. I will see you on Tuesday with Sea of Thieves. And if Sea of Thieves doesn't work, or Shell Shock, gotta think of another banger idea for the 15K you got refunded. That's true. That's true. Hopefully it's not a one-hit wonder and you come up with another banging idea. But man, that was good. That was good. Have a good night, everybody.